My name is Rachel Chu, and I helped write a song called Beautiful. I chose to write this song because of my cousin. You see, my mom and my aunt wanted my cousin and I to become closer, not only because we were similar in age, but because I exhibited good behavior that my aunt wanted my cousin to follow. For example, I would actually listen to my mom, I wouldn't talk back, and if she ever wanted me to help her clean something, I would help. Whereas my cousin, she was unapologetically rebellious. She would speak her mind whenever, and I thought she was so cool. And so one spring at a mall near my mom's workplace, we went shopping, and I remember as she was picking out her clothes, she'd freeze up for a couple seconds and just think. And I remember I asked her about that habit, but she just stared me down, so I never asked again. So as our day continued, we got lunch, and I ordered this delicious chicken and rice from the food court, and I remember she ordered this itsy bitsy, like mouse-sized box of fries. And we didn't really talk about it, but I remember when she rolled up her sleeves, there were cuts in her arms. Her shirt was a crop top, and everyone could see her ribs in this bony grossness, and her face was sunken in like a zombie's. I remember very distinctly this look of absolute hate on her face. Hate for herself. And so I helped write Beautiful because I wanted people to realize that having a negative body image is unhealthy because it causes self-esteem and can potentially cause because it harms self-esteem and because it can cause harmful behavior. And this applies to 91% of women. This is 91% of women who are unhappy with their bodies. 91% of women who look in the mirror and can't see what everyone else sees. 91% of women who have a hard time seeing the beauty that they possess. And so what happens when you have a negative body image? You can end up in a situation like Amy Pesant. I chose to write about Amy in Beautiful because her story reminded me of what my cousin could be experiencing or even thinking. She described life with an eating disorder as, quote, similar to a puppet show, unquote. Her disorder wanted a skinny girl, and her friends cheered for her because they were in stark horror of how skinny she was, but her disorder made her a lonely girl because she was so focused on being perfect that she had no time or energy to simply live her life. She had a monster that told her she wasn't good enough and that told her she didn't deserve to be good enough. And it should be made clear that Amy had anorexia nervosa, a disease that kills nearly 20% of its victims by suicide. In fact, for women 15 to 24, the death rate of anorexia is 12 times higher than that of any other cause of death. And the thing to remember is that having a negative body image does not only affect women. In the second verse of Beautiful, we talk about a man who would work out till he would fall down. And so in men, rather than anorexia, they are susceptible to something called muscle dysphoria. And so what happens is that they shoot for the ideal male body, in which is just perfect muscular body. And why this is so bad is because they often sacrifice their social, emotional, or mental state or lives in order to achieve this one goal. And the problem with this is that it goes undiagnosed because it's hard to diagnose, but more importantly, a lot of men don't really see this as a bad thing because in society, being muscular is extremely admirable. And so what makes muscle dysphoria dangerous is that it can be almost like a silent killer. You can develop something called bradycardia, and what happens is that your low fat rates affect your cardiovascular system. It causes your heart rate to go down, and so it can cause dizziness from lack of oxygen circulating within your body. It can cause cardiac arrest, otherwise known as heart attack. And in this case, in the lyrics that we wrote, it can cause blackouts. It can cause the body to just give up. So the important thing to take is that just because someone hasn't been diagnosed with an eating disorder doesn't mean that they don't suffer from the consequences of having a negative body image. Because these things, these insecurities, can isolate you, they can consume you, and they can kill you. A negative body image will hurt your self-esteem and may cause harmful behavior. And so you must overcome these thoughts and realize that you are beautiful.